There are those who love inflatable boats and those who prefer boats. They are two different types, but there is an Italian manufacturer who, from the outset, thought of combining the typical technical qualities of inflatable boats with the elegance of boats. We are talking about ZAR Formenti, and this model is the 95 Sport Luxury. We've already tried it, but this is the 2023 version, updated with the T-top and the latest generation electronics, derived from the instrumentation used by the flagship of the range, the ZAR Imagine 130. The T-top is fiberglass but vacuum infused to limit weight, and here a pull-out awning is attached to the stern. This accessory was born for the American market, but it is also increasingly requested by us Europeans. It shades us from the sun, obviously, but it can also work as a shelter from bad weather by adding a series of transparent awnings along the entire perimeter. The setup of this model is completed by the joystick, which is not essential but is very useful, especially for those who are not yet familiar with manoeuvring in confined spaces. Then there is a 16-inch Garmin display set in the navigation bridge with all the functions for navigation and home automation, with various pages dedicated to this model. The deck, designed by Carlos Vidal, the hull was designed by Francesco Ambrosini, and the engineering is by the ZAR Formenti shipyard. I like the two living areas, one forward and one aft, both convertible into sun decks. The bow chaise lounge has an adjustable backrest. The visible anchor is the most functional solution. You can easily control it, and in this case, they've also made sure that it does not hinder boarding and disembarking. The handrail runs along the entire bow. On the contrary, there are no handrails on the sides of the deckhouse. The console is off-centre, and the passageway on the starboard side is a little narrower. The helm seats are comfortable and safe thanks to the enveloping backrests and handles on the outer edge. A portion of the seat converts to lumbar support for piloting standing up. A platform is dedicated to the pilot, while a running board is dedicated to the co-pilot. The opening passage towards the stern is padded. This way, the sofa appears continuous from one side to the other. The table can be mounted in the centre and becomes a sunbathing extension. To make better use of the bilge, they have created a large hatch that can also be operated electrically. In the kitchen cabinets, there is a 90-litre double-drawer fridge. The cabin is basic but suitable for a good rest and equipped with a window and 2 portholes. The bathroom is separate, and the grating drains the water from the shower. We have 2 350 horsepower Mercury engines, the Verados. It is the maximum power allowed by the CE homologation certificate. Too bad the waters aren't very rough today. I mean, there are a few waves that are somehow choppy, but it's a short wind wave that certainly doesn't bother this hull. In any case, I can tell you that I've tried all ZAR Formenti hulls of this type and have always found they deliver excellent performance, even in difficult conditions, because the bow is high and sharp. Inverted spray rails deflect the weight well, and tubulars in contact with the surface stabilise it both at anchor and underway and control roll. And then there are 2 tunnels in the aft side sections, which serve to balance the hull at any speed, basically to reduce the pitch. I want to give you some advice. When you load this inflatable boat and let people on board, make sure you balance the load left and right with respect to the longitudinal axis, but also forward and aft with respect to the centre of gravity. Why? Because this shipyard has done an excellent job of balancing the weights to obtain this setup. It would be a mistake to ruin it with our carelessness.
Sarebbe un errore rovinarlo con una nostra noncuranza.
Check this out, 11 knots, and we are already planing. Let's give it some gas. I'm looking for speed. Here we have the maximum efficiency, namely in relation to speed, the lowest fuel consumption.
Direi che è questa. 25 knot.
I'd say this is it, 25 knots, which is the most common cruising speed. It takes 2.8 litres for every mile. There are 3 of us on board and the fuel tank is 30% full.
Per il 30% della sua capacità. Mi piace molto a questa velocità.
I really like this speed. 30 knots, 4,700 RPM, 2.9 litres per mile. Not bad, but the setup is now even better.
L'assetto adesso è ancora migliore. È incredibile come cambia il comportamento.
It's incredible how the performance changes by adjusting the trim, in the sense that without giving more throttle, I can increase the speed.
Sono arrivato con il trim al 20% a 30.
With the trim at 20%, I reached 34 knots, which means I gained 4 knots. Consumption has gone up a bit because the revs have increased, but it's still low, 3 litres per mile.
Ora, al di là delle prestazioni e dei
Now, beyond performance and consumption, it is interesting to observe the behaviour and safety of this inflatable boat.
questo battello pneumatico. Siamo a
We're at
40.
46 knots and I'm going into a veer. I accelerate as I come out of the veer.
Un po' di veccheggio dovuto.
There is little pitching due to the wind and the waves,
Ma non ho bisogno
but I don't need to correct the course.
Adesso vado di trim.
Now I'm going to trim, but contrary to what usually happens, i.e. that it is necessary to raise it,
In realtà posso tenerlo.
I can actually keep it as before, around 20%, or even reduce it a little. I still reach maximum performance, 48 knots.
48 nodi. Con questo angolo di trim, tutta
With
la
this trim angle, the whole hull rests on the water from bow to stern. This allows me to have great stability and great directionality. Basically, I navigate well, calmly and quickly.
tranquillo e veloce.
What else can I say? This is wonderful.
Meraviglia.